It's Monday, it's morning.
And it's macabre. Welcome, children.
Hello there, children.
Hello there, children. Welcome to Monday Morning Macabre, the show where Scones and Darcy, me being Darcy, that being Scones, talk about spooky stuff. And you listen and you rate it 5 stars, and then you close your laptop and go back to bed.
Like and subscribe.
That's how it works. So, Scones,
Yeah,
what a wild weekend, am I right?
absolute wild weekend, brother.
Tell me about your wild weekend. Well, you were on vacation, no?
Yes, my partner, girlfriend. I don't know what's the cool thing to call your significant other these
Kind
days?
of like half-heartedly
boo
saying
thing?
girlfriend sounds like a good one. You boo
Kind of like
cool.
boo thing.
Yeah, your boo thing.
So, not to brag, I actually just brought up this discussion just to flex, but
Yeah.
we went
Scones wants
to
everyone to know that he has a
Charleston,
boo thing.
South Carolina. Yeah, I'm straight and I drink beer. We went to Charleston, South Carolina, so got back Saturday night, just been chilling. It was cool, but man, oh man, I look at the news and Darce,
Oh no,
Billy Joel.
Billy Joel Osment.
You know when he wrote like we didn't start the fire, dude, he's got to write
Yeah.
a follow up because shit's happening.
It's happening.
The COVID virus, apparently, the Department of Energy for some reason's like, I know where that came from. And
Wait, what? I did not hear this.
So you know how China was like, oh, it was an accident in like the water markets in Wuhan?
Yeah, sure.
So over the weekend, the Department of Energy got bored of not having like
Stuff
a
to
good
do.
social media.
They're like, we figured out
presence."
potential, we figured out kinetic. We've been sitting here on our ass for like.
They were like, our Instagram needs to blow up, so let's start some drama.
So we
And they were
rented a
like,
private
we
plane.
are absolutely confident now that it was a leak from a lab in Wuhan, like a virology lab.
Yeah, and so China's like, no, you. What about balloons, though?
Yeah, exactly. And then we got balloons shooting down, and then like Russia. And dude, Billy Joel.
Billy
we gotta
Joel,
start
baby.
singing about some world events.
Billy, we're missing William Joelstein.
Joe DiMaggio.
So in Charleston, South Carolina, did you go to any? I don't know. What are South Carolina things?
So
Is that
it
south enough
was-
to have hoedowns?
yes,
Okay.
It's pretty fucking south. And
It's way more south than here.
it is more south than you'd be comfortable around. But no, like their houses are like colorful in the city, and then the barbecue's good, and then
Scones, you're real. You can
went-
really spin a yarn.
we went to like the flooded forest swamp thing from The Notebook.
The flooded. Oh yeah, like the get in the
So
water.
That and
Did
The
you yell, "Get
Patriot
in the
with Mel
water"?
Gibson were both
Nice.
filmed down there. No, he
Nice.
doesn't talk
My
about in The
two
Notebook at all
favorite-
that there's a ton of alligators. Like he would not be yelling at her to get in the
Right,
water.
he'd be like, "Get out of the water because crocodiles."
But it's cool. Like we just like get in a rowboat. They just give it to you. You don't have to sign anything. There's no life jackets.
They're like, "There's no
They're just
insurance,
like, here's
bro.
the
It's
paddle.
South Carolina. Fucking get to it."
Literally. And then they're just like, paddle. Just don't fuck up. There's alligators in there.
Yeah,
and
you
there's
flip,
just like
you're done. Floor is
just
lava.
you just look next to you and there's just fucking alligators.
They're
And
just
it's
like,
this
hey.
is sick.
That's so cool, dude.
It was so rad.
Swamps should be the national landmark. Just
the
all
craziest
swamps.
thing, the thing that I couldn't believe. So we're both from southeastern Massachusetts. People don't think about it this way, but there's a lot of swamps.
Yes, there
And-
is. Hockomock Swamp.
When we were in South Carolina, the swamp one did not smell.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say like the swamp one. Like it was us versus
No.
swamp.
I fought the swamp.
Swamp and the
I was
swamp
punching
one.
it in the water. No, it did not smell at all. It
Interesting.
smelled good, if anything. It smelled
Oh.
like flowers.
Oh,
And two, there was no mosquitoes.
swamp.
And I don't know what
Oh my
happened
God, it's
or what kind
swamp.
of magical aura that place has.
The Crocs, dude. The Crocs are eating mosquitoes, dude.
And dude, the guy handing out
Lean.
the paddles is the most alligator guy you can imagine.
Oh,
He's like super old with a cowboy hat and was like,
So you're like, you can see why like swamp. What's that show called? Swamp People. What's the Swamp People
yes.
show?
Actually, the 1982 Swamp Thing
Ah,
was also filmed there.
yeah. Oh,
A lot of places filmed
a
or
lot of really pristine
like,
swamp.
a lot of movies. Probably some of the top swamp movies ever made.
Yeah, you name a swamp movie, 99% chance it happened in Charleston, South Carolina.
What do you think of the best swamp movies?
Oh, let's talk about it. First
Okay.
one that comes to mind.
Creature from the Black Lagoon's like the OG, right?
The Goosebumps episode, Werewolf of Fever Swamp.
That's a good one too.
But yeah, Creature from the Black Lagoon's probably like the one that really brought swamps to
the forefront,
to the silver screen.
Apparently, The Patriot, The Notebook,
The Patriot, The Notebook, Magic: The Gathering land cards.
Anaconda with Ice Cube.
That was the one I originally had thought of before I thought of Werewolf of Fever Swamp, but I couldn't remember the name, so I passed. Yeah, that's just honesty. Swamp People, of course, and then probably
Swamp
like
Thing, 1982.
I mean, I think Squonks are going to be bringing swamps back too.
You think there's going to be Swamp Squonks?
I think Swamp Squonks and in Swampscott are going to be a real
filmed on location. In
Swampscott, Swamp Squonks. I think that's good.
that fucking that script writes itself.
Easy, baby. Yeah, that's the news.
And that's the news.
That's the news.
Stars, I'm sure you had an amazing weekend, right?
Oh man, I got contacts last week. Finally figured out how to put them in my eyeballs after it took like 45 minutes. I don't know if we talked about this yet on the pod, but figured that out. So I went to YouTube and watched a bunch of YouTube videos and learned how to do it.
That is amazing because I wish I had that when I first got contact
back
lenses.
in my day. We didn't have YouTubes.
Back in my day, you went into the high school bathroom and you just
dirty
like, stabbed your eyes,
dirt
came
everywhere.
out to homeroom like looking like you just fucking got conjunctivitis on your way over.
I love it. No, but I'm seeing like a pro now.
Wow, is it like a whole new world for you?
Yeah, it's.
I'll say something, Darce. I think you've needed glasses for a long time.
I appreciate you saying that. Thank you so much. I'm interested to hear why you say that.
I can feel like I can remember you not seeing stuff or squinting and just putting it off.
Yeah.
A bit now.
Well, that's what you do as adult.
As a father?
As a father, visions for the birds, dude. My brother and my dad
nothing better when you're a father than putting stuff off.
Yeah, exactly. Why do you think whiskey was invented, dude? You just sit, you sip on whiskey, and you put things off. That's the fatherly way. Now, my brother and my father both have had glasses like their entire lives. But I was like,
they kill it too. They look great in them.
I was like, you think I'm going to be the varsity captain of the high school basketball team with glasses? Hello?
You can't do it.
Can't do it. Not allowed to. So I didn't.
The rec specs guy has to be like a role player, just get rebounds.
Exactly. It's literally a 4 or a 5. He's getting rebounds. He's outlet passing, and that's his goddamn
job. He's a little husky,
job.
maybe.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, let's forego the whole fixing my vision until I've had my everything is settled in my life. I have a home. I've got a wife. I've got kids. Like I've got a job.
So the real question: Are you skating by with a license, driver's license that does not say you need corrective lenses?
You know what's really funny is me and my wife both got the contacts, and when the optometrist was like, "Hey," to my wife was like, "Hey," doing like the test to figure out like what her score was or whatever the fuck it's called. It's got a prescription, yeah. See if she got like an
Did
A
you
or
win?
a B.
Did you beat her?
Yeah. So I got the high score actually. There's like a leaderboard and there's 10 names, and I was AAA. And so she got the optometrist was like, "Do you have on your license that it says that you you can't see legally? You're legally not allowed to see?" And she's like, "No." And she's like, "Oh, you should, because you shouldn't be driving. Like you're like legally blind."
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I was probably in there too. But if
I've never not had that on my license. So.
They literally asked me, they're like, "Do you wear glasses?" I was like, "No." And they didn't test me. And I was like, okay, because I feel like I should fail this test, but always winning hashtag. So
you just alphaed your optometrist.
Yeah, I basically was like, I don't think you know who I am. And she was like, "Oh, you're right."
And then you just put on your varsity jacket, and he was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
I'm a big deal in Romanian prisons.
He's like, "What are you doing with this nerd?" Like pointing at Jenny while holding his hand up.
So anyway, Scones, I've got a sizable article here, so I'm gonna cut to the chase.
Dude. Wait, didn't you have a meeting at noon?
No. I had a meeting at 11 that I had to
Oh,
do.
okay.
And now,
I thought we had
now-
another one. I was like, okay, we should
Yeah.
stop now talking about eyes.
So this is a listener suggestion. Shout out to Ghost Girl, a.k.a. Skelectra.
Oh, Skeletra. She's like
long
one of
time.
the
OG.
long-time listener,
OG.
long-time submitter. I believe Patreon?
I
Patreon-y?
believe. Maybe not. Who cares? Because we
So
love
if you're a listener
you.
and you don't know what Skeletra's life is like, it's sick because she has another season's worth of Monday Morning Macabre content
Wow,
on Patreon.
what a you should sell cars to people who can't afford them.
I'm thinking about it.
I'm thinking of making a buck off people's lack of money.
You know what? I'm thinking of going up to people with the highest debt and saying, hey,
Yeah.
you want some more of that?
Hey, you like interest rates? Is that
America's built
tickle
on
your
it,
fancy?
baby.
Baby. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about how Gilles De Rais went from fighting alongside Joan of Arc to murdering children.
Okay, hold on. I got to take off my hat for this one.
All right.
My hat was getting very uncomfortable under my headphones. Okay.
Well, did you slick your hair back?
No, I think I might need to wait and see these skeletons show me how to do it.
All right. Skeletons, go. All right, we're back.
Hey.
So yeah, Gilles De Rais, but Gilles Derais. He is French, as you can tell by my incredible accent work. I gotta
do
call
you
him.
think French people are gonna get mad at us for making silly French voices?
Well, maybe they're still
Like
French
Monty
voices, but
Python
I'm
level?
I'm genuinely. I looked up how to pronounce his name so that I could say it like that, but I'm just gonna call him Gilly for the rest of the show because it's way easier.
No, I tried too. I looked up how to go.
Yeah, I think that's how they say every word.
Yeah, no. Again,
It's the entire
it's like
language.
just Monty Python level French
Yes.
accents.
So, French nobleman Gilly is remembered both as a war hero and as a serial killer who was executed for killing more than 100 children in the early 1400s.
That really makes you. That's pretty woke, Darce. That makes you think. Like,
Hashtag.
one person's war hero is another person's serial killer. You know.
Honestly. So, history. It's written by the winners, and it turns
Yes.
out.
I love winners.
Turns out all I do is win.
Yes.
No matter what, which is funny. And so I've rewritten the entirety of history into a 7-part encyclopedia that I will ship to you for a small fee.
You know what's funny? History was written by
Clown.
the winners.
Yep.
But like I feel like as we move forward, we're looking back at history and seeing how the winners were a lot of times awful and like
They're just losers
evil.
in disguise. Yeah. It should be
They
like
did an
history's
awful job writing it. They
Yeah.
need better PR people.
History's written by big douches. So the early life of Gilly D. Gilly D was born in Gilles de Montmorency. I'm not even gonna. He was born in a place.
Sacre bleu,
Yeah,
dude.
he was born in a place in 1404.
You were about to blow my mind with some Frenchness.
I'm gonna hit it with like the real like white American way to do it.
Hell yeah.
Champtoc sur Loire, France.
I like their French toast.
He was the son of nobles and was raised in the area of Race in the western French region of Brittany.
Of course,
he
Darce
was-
has to bring race into this.
Jesus Christ. He was a bright child who wrote illuminated manuscripts, learned military tactics, and spoke fluent Latin. Tragedy struck when De Rais was 10 years old and his father, Guy de Laval, was killed in a hunting accident. The boy may have even witnessed the incident, which was followed within months by the death of his mother. Her cause of death remains unknown.
This guy's down bad.
Yeah, he's not having a great childhood, which again is one of McDonald's triad things. Well, actually,
the
it's not.
triad combo order.
Yeah, once we find out that he's peeing his bed, setting things on fire, killing animals, we're off to the races. Raised by his maternal grandfather Jean de Crone, De Rais grew up into a prickly and ill-tempered young man. His resourceful grandfather was a noted political schemer.
What?
Whoa!
How do I go to school for that?
I didn't know you were allowed. I didn't know politicians could be schemers. What? Hello.
No.
So he managed to marry De Rais off to Catherine de Tours of Brittany, And again, I apologize on all these pronunciations, but
Yeah,
you're
just
gonna
a
have to deal
dinner Jean Don, and I rolled up as weed because
and
I
I got it going on. And though the wealthy heiress significantly increased De Rais' fortune, their union also fated him to war. He looks just like Farquaad. So think Lord Farquaad.
That's incredible.
So
That's the best news I've heard all day.
The 100 Years' War, as it would come to be known centuries later, had been raging since 1337. It pitted the kings and kingdoms of France against those of England and wouldn't cease until 1453. De Rais
Imagine just like being in like just having a bad guy in your entire life. Your country is just at war with some. I guess Korea. Was
right,
kinda
like
close
your
to
entire
that, but like,
every it's like a movie or video game.
yeah, it's like like Warcraft. Like
Yeah, right.
there's
It's
bad
literally-
guys over there, and they're always gonna be bad, and we're always gonna be fighting
always
them.
going to be in conflict forever. So De Rais was wrapped up in the conflict when his new home of Brittany became disputed territory between the kingdoms. De Rais' military career is well documented. He would make his mark on the battlefield and become one of the richest and most powerful feudal lords of his time. Ominously, he's like the Jake Paul of military campaigns
Oh, didn't
in
he just get
France.
his head beaten by
Yeah,
Tyson
he did.
Fury's brother?
Is that who it is?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Tyson Fury's little brother.
Mike
him in
Tyson's
boxing.
furious little brother, dude? Hell yeah. Yeah, he did just
Hell
lose
yeah,
a
dude.
match. I don't know much beyond that, but it was by
Yeah,
split
it
decision.
was one of the Fury boys, one of those travelers, like
Fury boy.
pretty much like the guy, like the Abraham Gold.
Ah, yeah.
It's essentially that family, but modern day.
That's a reference.
If you get it, you get
If
it.
you get it, you get it.
IKYK. No.
If you know, you know.
If IY.
IYKYK.
Yes.
Ick. So, he would spend much of his time abducting innocent... Okay, let me back up a sentence just to
Whoa.
get the context again. He would make his mark on the battlefield and become one of the richest and most powerful feudal lords of his time. Ominously, he would spend much of his time abducting innocent children, with his status shielding him from suspicion for 8 years before being caught.
Dude, that's
So, the classic.
I think about that with like how much celebrities and politicians and shit get away with now.
Yeah, well, this is what like suburban Christian moms thinks are happening with celebrities in the modern day.
Yes, like imagine how much rich people got away with back then.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Chappaquiddick or whatever, like
Yeah,
that times 1,000.
they could do. They were. I mean, they were invincible and unstoppable.
There was no like news or way to
No.
know of it going on.
They barely had like yeah. They're like the written word is like still pretty new.
Like
The
only
printing
like 3
press-
people can read in the country.
Right. Yeah. It's not even like even if you can write, it's like, well, I can show this to nobody because everyone's illiterate. So, but yeah. So, from war hero to demonic murderer, a classic tale.
Yes.
Historical accounts.
The story arc. The hero's journey.
The hero's journey. Historical accounts describe Gilles D as a fearless and capable fighter. He solidified his status in 1429 when the Dauphin, who would later become King Charles VII of France, ordered him to watch over Joan of Arc on the field. As her official protector, aka Simp, De Rais had significant responsibility and rose to the occasion. The two fought bravely in several key battles, including those of Jargeau and Patay. They were side by side when the French army rescued the city of Orleans from the English siege in 1429. It proved to be a major turning point in the war and saw De Rais promoted to Marshal of France and attain invaluable status.
Dude, he got France Marshal?
Yeah, hashtag France Marshal.
Where is that in the hierarchy?
So it's Brigadier General, then it's Marshal of France, then it's
gold, diamond,
gold,
platinum.
diamond. Yeah. He went from Masters to Marshal of France.
What was his elo?
He almost reached Challenger that season, dude. It was sick. Joan of Arc was captured and burned to death by the English on May 30th, 1431. De Rais forged ahead in his military service and led the French army to a definitive victory over England in 1435. Ominously, he had already been murdering innocent children for 3 years.
It's kind of like a lot of I don't know what the term, like poetic irony here, that she was like, we're doing this because God wants us to. And then he's like, yeah.
And he's
yeah,
like, you know what
I'm
else
on your
God wants
side."
us to do?
Yeah, exactly. Like, yikes.
So as Marshal, De Rais had been sending his servants to find and abduct peasant children. Could you imagine if your boss was like, hey, dude, love what you're doing. Really
Showing
great
initiative.
Yeah, I think you're being a great job in managing your team. Just real quick, if you see a tiny, dirty child, bring them my way.
Just
I'll
shows
keep
me
'em.
that you know how to work in a diverse setting with different groups.
We're a family, and as a family,
Bring back all
bring
the
back
kids you
some
can
more
find.
kids to make the family bigger.
We'll get a pizza party.
So, according to trial documents, he used secret rooms to bludgeon the kids to death while staring into their eyes.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Not
Skeletra,
great.
take
No,
it easy.
Skeletra was like, yo, I got a palate cleanser, boys. Here we go.
Yeah, you guys have been getting a little too goofy lately.
Yeah.
Talking about Deepoks and cryptids and shit.
He then decapitated their bodies and kept their severed heads on display. And here's where it gets super cool. Kissing his favorites from time to time.
So people must have been really disillusioned when Joan of Arc was like, we're doing this for all the goodness, for God. And then you find out Joan of Arc goes away, and then the guy
His
who's
like
been
right-hand man
the
was
whole
kissing decapitated children's bodies.
Yes.
Yeah. He's not cool.
I'd say very not chill.
Very not chill. Honestly, not pushing P. And
No, he sounds like a horrifying person. And also, he won all those. How did this get out?
right.
Don't the winners write history?
Yeah, well, maybe there's we'll find out.
You think there was a little guy?
Little guy Winnie.
Writing?
So, after he retired from military service, his lifestyle grew decadent. De Rais squandered a fortune on excess and bad investments.
I can't wait to do that someday.
I know. Isn't that that is the American dream, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Including 150 actor play about Joan of Arc and the Siege of Orleans.
That's sick. Imagine being that rich
Which-
that you just put on the craziest fucking
Yeah, you're like,
largest play
Bro, we're going Broadway with this shit.
just to sit in a theater alone and watch it.
There's
That's what power is.
and then just have Shia LaBeouf next to you doing that, like clapping.
Yeah.
Advised by local sorcerers to engage in the occult, he organized rituals involving the human sacrifice and dismemberment of children in hopes of raising demons to reestablish his finances. So
This
he's
is one, horrifying, and two,
Yeah.
fits all of our check boxes for this show.
Yep, this guy's the
this
worst.
program.
So, on May 15th, 1440, however, De Rais and his men abducted a cleric from the Church of Saint Etienne de Montmorty. Following a dispute, the Bishop of Nantes, rapidly launched an investigation, which led church officials and lawmen to uncover evidence that De Rais had murdered up to 150 boys over the course of 8 years.
The irony, again.
Yeah,
that the Bishop of Atlantis found out
Bishop
about
of
this
Niantic.
stuff.
Yeah, it's not poggers. I'll say that.
Gonna give it that's gonna be a not poggers.
That's
going
gonna be a I don't think so, bud. From me. The trial and execution of
yes.
Gilles D.
So they got him.
Oh boy, did they!
All right.
When
as long as the bad guy loses in the end,
yeah, it's a big L
the
for
evil man.
for Gilly, which is good. When secular lawmen interviewed Gilles D, Gilles D's servants, they admitted to abducting children for him, and that he would, let's
skip
that and cut off their heads. 2 French clerics testified De Rais engaged in alchemy and was obsessed with the dark arts, and that he used the limbs of his victims for his rituals.
Alchemy fascinates me. Everyone, it was like the mid-level marketing scheme of the Middle Ages, and everyone bought into it.
Well, that's the whole thing.
This is how you make passive income, brother.
Once you become you're like Elon. I'm sure Elon is doing some low key where's the fountain of youth type shit.
He's like dirt into gold, dust
he's
into gold,
trying to
horses into gold.
Live forever and make gold. That's what humans do. So several servants from neighboring villages also came forward to testify that their children had gone missing after begging near De Rais Castle. In one instance, a courier relayed how De Rais' cousin had borrowed his 12-year-old apprentice who was never seen again. While the court initially planned to torture De Rais into confessing, that was no longer necessary when he admitted to all charges of murder and heresy, and he even confessed to kissing the children.
He admitted all of it?
Yeah, he just came clean. He admitted to kissing the children when they were dead and cutting them open to marvel at their organs. So, not a great guy, as we've already established.
Well, he probably thinks he's going to like some like super hell where he's like welcomed at this point, right?
Yeah, he's probably so deep in the
stuff.
occult. He's like, yo, me and Satan are homies. Let's like...
Yeah, like I'll fucking jump off the thing. You don't even have to pull the floor up.
His trial lasted 5 days and culminated with De Rais being found guilty of criminal murder and unnatural vice with children. Sentenced to death, he was executed.
That is a reductive term for how evil that was.
Right. He was executed by hanging and burning on October 26th, the day after Halloween. No, it's not. That's Christmas. The 5 days before Halloween.
I was like, oh, the calendar was a bit different.
Yeah, they didn't go by our calendar. They went by the one in my head. Though his body was saved before the flames entirely reduced it to ash. And although there is no definitive record of how many children he killed, most believe it was between 100 and 200, though some have asserted, it could be as high as 600.
600? Back then, isn't that like half the town?
I was going to say, that's a lot of people.
They're running into like the problem like China has now where there aren't enough births or whatever, like the demographics all fucked up. That's so many people.
It's a lot of people. So was Gilly D a serial killer?
Yes.
Well, hold on. While his guilt has been universally accepted for centuries, and Gilly D even inspired the 1697 Bluebeard fairy tale, some experts have come to question his guilt. Historian Margot K. Juby, the author of Martyrdom of Gilly D, that's the title, I swear, believes the threat of torture was so daunting that De Rais confessed regardless of guilt, or possibly to save himself from excommunication. Dude, I will take excommunication in a heartbeat.
Well, so back that, like, is this person saying that, like, maybe, like, the church is covering up something and blaming it on him or something?
I don't
usurp him from power. I could see something like that happening, like some Game of Thrones level shit where...
Right. I mean, it's also one of those things where it's like, at that time, if somebody has decided you're guilty, they're just gonna torture you until you confess. So,
oh yeah, more weight kind of thing.
Yeah, you're kind of just in. You're kind of screwed regardless. So Margot says it seems impossibly quaint in the 21st century to read a text that fully accepts the validity of an Inquisition trial with the use of torture. Not only was there no tangible evidence proving De Rais was guilty, but the Duke of Brittany, who prosecuted the secular case that saw De Rais convicted, wound up receiving all the titles to De Rais' land after his execution.
Yeah, I could see.
Yeah, there's not great.
There's some sketchy again.
It's a sticky sitch.
So maybe I was wrong. Maybe the winners did write history.
Yeah.
Yeah, and wrote it this way.
They hit us with that swirt. So some historians point to this as evidence of a political scheme against De Rais. And in 1992, a French Freemason went as far as organizing the trial to retry De Rais fairly. Comprised of French ministers, parliament members...
That is a risky hill to die on.
Right? You better have your fucking I's dotted and T's crossed for that one, dude.
Because you're going to be known as the guy who defended
right?
a serial
murder, everything child vicer. So, comprised of French ministers, parliament members, and UNESCO experts, the court investigated all available evidence and came back with a verdict of not guilty.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Ultimately, the truth.
What evidence is there?
I mean, that's the thing is there's no physical evidence, so I don't know how. What are the details there? I do not know.
Bunch of Latin and shitty drawings in an old book.
Yeah. Ultimately, the truth remains impossible to know unless further evidence proving or refuting De Rais' guilt comes to life. However, more than 500 years after his death, Gilles D will likely remain a disputed but prominent figure of French history. So, either he's the worst guy ever or just a dude who had more land than someone else and was taken down.
Yeah, could be either.
Either way, I'm glad I don't live back then.
Yeah. Weird. All the complaints about modern events aside, it's the best time to be a human being.
It's
I mean,
the best
locally,
of times.
that might be different, but like
That's true.
overall,
in general,
it's probably the best time.
Maybe like 6 years ago. Maybe
That's true. Maybe like
throw it back
2008.
2016.
No, actually 2008 was terrible. 2006.
Yeah, I was gonna say housing crisis. Yeah, but like we pretty good overall. So that's Gilles De Rais, and
Gina Donjon.
thank you again to Skeletra for the info on that. I appreciate you. You sent along an article as well.
Oh,
It was a Britannica article. This was the All That's Interesting version of it. That was a little more. The reason I didn't use your Britannica article was because it was a little too short for the pod. So I found
We
that All
wanted to
That's
give
Interesting did
you
it.
more content. And we know the first 10 minutes talking about, I don't even remember anymore.
Swamps mostly.
Doesn't always. Oh, yes. That's how in and out that first 10 minutes of this podcast is.
It's
Just
a
nonsense. I
fugue
don't remember it by the end
Yeah.
of the podcast.
Absolutely. So if you like the pod, leave a review. We appreciate those.
Please do.
Hit us up on our socials. If you have your own suggestion for us, we appreciate everybody who sends them in. And, hit up MondayMorningMacabre.com for Patreon and all that other good stuff. And Scones, do you have any final words for our listeners?
Have some French toast. You deserve it. You've earned it. It's not really like
Get
a true
double
dessert.
stack.
Oh, a double stack.
Double stack.
It's a great thing to do if you feel like your bread's getting a little stale. Not moldy. Don't do it when it's moldy. But if your bread's a little stale, maybe
Throw an
just-
egg on it. Heat it up.
paint eggs on it and then just yeet it in there.
Make an egg painting and then swallow it whole. I love you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.